Welcome back to my channel. I'm Emily. I want to talk about seed saving today because I was thinking ahead to what I want to seed save this year, and I realized I have saved so many different kinds of seeds just in my 2 previous years of gardening. So I'm going to show you what I've saved. I'm going to talk about a couple things you can buy if you are wanting to save your own seeds that are really cheap. And I'll share with you what I'm planning to seed save this upcoming season. I've already started a little bit of that. So I have a bunch of seeds here in front of me, and I'm just gonna grab some packets and show you. I have seed saved a ton of peas. These are the packets that I originally had. I like to save my seed packets because I have this goal of someday making like a collage of seed packs. And so anyway, I have seed saved like snow peas and sugar snap peas and the melting snow peas, which are awesome, by the way. And it came in such handy. I didn't think I saved that many peas, but then last fall I was able to plant out, goodness, like 32 feet worth of peas, most of which were peas that I had saved from spring season for fall season. And then tragedy struck. I didn't know that it would take so long for the peas to grow in the fall with the sun being lower. And so anyway, all of those plants died in a hard frost, before I could get fruit and save the next round of seeds. So I don't have any right now that I have saved, but that worked out so well. I think saving pea seeds is really worth it if you have plenty of trellis space. Because, for example, I had these dying pea vines on my trellises all the way through early to mid-June, waiting for those pods to dry out. But I didn't have anything else I was rushing to put on that trellis. So the pods dried out, seeds are ready to be saved. Boom, easy. And because peas are very much self-pollinating, the risk of cross-pollination is actually really low with peas. So it was not a problem that I was growing multiple kinds. It really was not a problem. I have saved broccoli seeds as well, specifically the DCSO variety. And so I have this massive pack of broccoli seeds. And this was a journey because the broccoli had not produced anything yet. It started to flower, and I thought, oh, I'll save the seeds for that. And then proceeded to wait until about, from early 2021, so maybe January-ish, for about 5 months. That broccoli plant went through the process of flowering, putting on the seed pods, and then finally the seed pods drying. It was about 5 months. So should I have saved these broccoli seeds? Probably not, because broccoli does not grow super well for me in the methods I've been using so far here in Georgia. We do have pretty quick heat coming in the spring and pretty hot fall. So I don't know if I'll ever use all these broccoli seeds, but I have them, and they are going to be pure because I didn't let my other cruciferous plants flower. I snipped off those flowers really aggressively, so it should be pure broccoli because no other blooming cruciferous were allowed to live. So another veggie, rattlesnake pole beans. I saved so many more of these than I realized, kind of like the peas. I was like, oh, I'll let a few pods go to seed. And by the end of the summer, I had like 32 seeds, which is almost, it's like a whole other pack. I'd saved a pack's worth of seeds. And they are all currently planted in my garden because I had a few left in the original pack. And then I used some of my saved seeds. And then of course pests and things get to the seeds. So I had to replant a couple times, and now I think I've got my rattlesnake pole bean trellis filled out. It used all the seeds that I saved, but I didn't have to buy any more for this year. So I'll definitely try to save these again, because it was just like the peas. Beans, I believe beans are pretty much self-pollinators, very low risk of cross-pollination with beans as well, from what I understand. So I thought, you know what? It's going to be easy to seed save. They just dry on the vine, and then you save the seeds when they're hard. Don't overthink it. The key with seed saving is it has to be super dry before you package it away. Now, we're kind of alternating between things that I say, hey, this is worth it, and things that I'm like, it wasn't worth it. Saving seeds from radishes was not worth it to me. not on the scale that I did it. So cherry bell radishes are the variety that I can grow the best out of the varieties I've tried. Maybe it's just the timing that I plant them. I'm sure that's a big influence, but I have tried other radishes, and these are the ones that I typically do get a little cute radish root from. I loved this variety for that reason. It made me feel so good. So I decided to let a few go to seed, and I saved the seeds. And it was a little bit like the cruciferous veggies, where they have these skinny pods coming off of the flower stalk. So you let that dry, and after they just dried out, I had little pods of radish seeds. But unlike the broccoli, the radish seed pods were so small that on like one radish that went to seed, I would get like maybe 9 seeds from it. And when you think about how many radish seeds you have to sow to be successful, 9 doesn't go very far. So even though I had like 3 plants, I was like, great, I have like, because some of the pods opened before I got to them. I was like, I have like 18, 15 radish seeds. So I planted them all. This is the original pack. I don't have the seeds I saved. I planted them. But I'm going to be paying the $2 for radish packets. I'm not doing that again. Now, I really went cucumber seed saving crazy last year. I saved my Armenian cucumber seeds, which Botanical Interest gave me a lot of seeds. So there are plenty in this pack still. But I have now 2 of my paper packs worth of seeds. And I have not tested to see if these are viable because I don't really care that much because I have so many of the original ones, but I sure think they might be. So what happened was, this is an aggressive vining plant. I hear the loofah gourd is aggressive. I feel like Armenian cucumbers are more like loofahs in how aggressively large they get. So I could not see through my my Armenian cucumber patch, and one of them got away from me. And you know, you eat them small like cucumbers, then if you let them get big, they become like a melon. So I had a big one. It was like a baseball bat in there. And I thought, well, let's save these seeds because I need to pick the massive baseball bat one because, I mean, it's just taking nutrients and I want more of the little guys. So when I saved the seeds, they seemed like they might be viable. I'll let you know someday. I'm not growing them this year because I really just want to focus on smaller cucumbers, but it's nice to have that backup. I was successful in saving seeds from my cucamelons. I know that for sure because I broke into this pack since I think I finished off this one. Or either I have like 2 seeds left in here. Either way, I wanted to grow some of my saved seeds to see if they would work. 100% germination on the seeds that I tried. So now I have little cucamelons growing in the garden. They're flowering, they're producing female flowers, female fruits. So it was a success. And the reason I wasn't worried about saving seeds from this while I was saving seeds from my Armenian cucumber and while I was saving seeds from my Boston pickling cucumber is because they are all unrelated. So the nice thing about Botanical Interest is they put the genus and species on the seed packet. So the Armenian cucumber is a Cucumis mellow, and the Mexican sour gherkin is not. I don't have it written down what it is, but it is not. Same with the Boston pickling. They are not related. So yes, these were all flowering at the same time. Cross-pollination doesn't matter because they're not the same genus and species. So pure seed. Now I don't have to buy cucamelon seeds again because I saved 2 cucamelon fruit by letting them just get really big. They kind of stopped growing at a certain point, and then they eventually just fell off. And that's when I decided they must be ready. And they were. Now, bouncing back to the Boston pickling, which you got a preview of, these may not be viable. I tried really hard to save these correctly because I don't want to buy these again. I only have a few left. I have some growing right now in the garden, so I might try again this year. But how you do it is you let the cucumber go, and it turns practically orange, depending on what kind of cucumber. It might be like a bright yellow orange. It turns like a crazy color, and it gets large. And there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it, but you want to just let it get as big and orange as possible. And then you have to ferment the seeds, try to get that gel off, dry it, and save it. There are some great videos on how to do it. I remember Gardner Scott's video on how to save cucumber seeds, so I recommend checking out that video if you're interested. With the Boston pickling, I actually did have a cucumber that got away from me, started turning yellow. So I waited weeks and I picked it. So maybe some of them are viable, but I think I actually may have needed to wait even longer. You know, learning experience. I've only planted a few from this pack, so there's a small chance that they might actually be, some might be viable. It's okay. Another veggie, and then I'll move on to herbs and flowers. I saved my sweetie cherry tomato seeds. This variety is sentimental to me. It's the first cherry tomato I ever grew, and we bought it in 2020, as you see here. And with the sweetie cherry tomatoes, they're actually, I would say they're like a grape tomato. They're pretty big and they're fine. You know, they don't split much. They're very disease prone. So I really just saved the seeds because I didn't want to lose this variety and have to buy it again. So I have this whole pack of them, and I need to see if they're viable. I think they are though, because saving tomato seeds is a little less complicated than saving cucumber seeds. So the cucumber ones were pretty advanced. This, you just pick the right fruits. Now what I did do, this is a product you might be interested in. On Amazon, I went ahead and I bought these little mesh bags like this. So this is one of the bags that I use to protect the cherry tomato flowers, and then I would like tap the flowers, but they were in the bag, so they weren't cross-pollinating with any other cherry tomato I had. I also have the organza bags with the little drawstrings. Those I used as well, and so it's just a little mesh protection to prevent other pollen from being as likely to cross-pollinate. So these cute little cherry tomato seeds probably are viable. I should try them. But I think that when you let your cherry tomato turn its full color, that's a ripe fruit. So you just need to make sure you dry it out enough, and there you go. For flowers, I saved a bunch of sunflower seeds because I couldn't believe how easy it was. So I have my beautiful Lemon Queen sunflowers from Botanical Interest. It's a multi-head, 5 to 7 foot tall sunflower, and I loved how pretty they were. And so I have like all of these seeds, because what I did was I took a larger size of this bag. There are 2 sizes in the, you know, Amazon, and I took the bag, and it has a little opening here on one side, and I had to like rip it to make it big enough to hold the flower, put the flower inside, and then did a rubber band at the bottom and just waited, and the flowers, you know, faded and the seeds developed, and boom. So then I got all confident and I saved seeds from my Sun Gold tall sunflowers from emily.gardening, which were, I mean, it's funny they call them Sun Gold tall. Where I had them, I mean, they're 3 to 5 feet on the pack. That's about what I saw. I got a bunch of those as well. So now one thing I did have to pay attention to was what other sunflowers were blooming at the same time. So for example, I know that these Lemon Queen ones were pure because my Sun Golds were not blooming. I had no other sunflowers blooming. But later on, I wrote probably pure, maybe crossed with Sun Gold, because those were also sunflowers blooming. But I thought, hey, why not try? Save them. If they're cross-pollinated, it's going to be a pretty sunflower. With sunflowers, who cares, you know? So I have a few flowers that I have seed saved. I'm going to show you that. I saved seeds from my pansy mix, and I actually had the white one. The white one was, I only had one plant that made it, and it was one of the white ones. So I saved seeds from it. No idea if it's a hybrid, no idea. The seeds were right in front of me, and I was like, oh, okay, that's easy to save. If you watch my shade garden tour from April, I show you how I found the seeds for the Johnny Jump Ups on the plants. Now my Johnny Jump Ups were not as purple as this. They had a lot of yellow to them. I don't know what. These have a small yellow center, but my variety from this pack had a lot more yellow. So I may have already had some mixed up seeds. But with these kinds of flowers, the seeds are just, you can see them. The flower seed pod opens up and you're like, oh, seeds, they're mature. So I harvested a bunch of these, and I have them sitting in my little bowl. And these seeds are so small. And when the seed pod opens, it's pretty dry, and the seeds seem mature, but I'm drying them in this bowl for weeks, kind of until I kind of get sick of looking at it. And then I have a little seed pack that I keep next to it that will be ready for me to put the seeds in. Now, nasturtiums are a flower I would love to seed save more of. I saved 1 seed last year, partially because I didn't have a lot of flowers. I put the plant in a lot of shade. So I got 1 seed off of these guys. Apparently they reseed aggressively. Like my parents have a patch of nasturtiums that they've had going for like 3 years now because it just reseeds itself. Now, theirs bloom a lot more where they have them. So a lot more flowers, a lot more seeds. That's just the way it works. So I'm keeping an eye on my nasturtium patch this year because I would love to save some more seeds. So that is an example of the seeds I've saved so far. And this upcoming year, I wrote out a little goal list of seeds that I want to save. I want to save arugula, and it is in process. I'm kind of regretting it, but I also think I might as well try. It's just, these plants get so big when you're saving seeds. They're just huge, you know. So the Johnny Jump Ups were on my list, so that is in process. I want to save my bunching onions. They're flowering, so I put these bags over some of the oldest flowers, and I'll check on that in a few weeks. I want to save more pea seeds, but actually I changed my mind on that, so let me cross that off. I was like, I don't know, let me try more varieties. The ones I have are fine, but I want to try other ones. I want to save more bean seeds, like the rattlesnake and maybe some dragon tongue bush beans. I have saving pansies on here, which is in process. And then I want to save my bachelor button flowers. I was given some bachelor button flower, like plants. So I actually put the little mesh bags on some of the flowers the other day. And I'm just going to let them dry. And then I'll clip off the flower stem and see how many seeds I get. That'll be easy. So if you're interested in seed saving and you like the little envelopes I've been using, my sister gave me these. They're just little staples. #1 coin gummed envelopes. I like them because they're not plastic, so I think if my seeds are a tiny bit internally moist, there's still a lot of airflow. And you know, it's not reusable, but there's no staple or anything, so maybe they're compostable. Depends on what kind of composting you do. This is a book that I have on seed saving because there are lots of videos, but sometimes you want to say something random and you may not find it. So far, I've really enjoyed this, The Complete Guide to Seed Saving by Robert and Cheryl Moore Gough. So I've referenced this multiple times trying to learn how to save a certain seed, and it does a nice job of showing you like alphabetically, and then it does like, it's just a little blurb. It's not like a whole giant textbook. The bulk of it is just like a little blurb for all 322 plants they guide you through. There are more seed saving books out there. That's just one that I asked for Christmas one time. So if you watch my garden tours, you'll see seed saving in action. I really encourage you to try seed saving. It's worthwhile. It's really passive. A lot of it is just you waiting. You don't actually have to do much. So putting a little baggie over it and waiting, and you could probably save what you're interested in saving. So put in the comments below what you have seed saved and what you recommend others try. I think if I had to summarize, my top favorites were the peas, the cucamelons, because they were so easy, sunflowers, because it was so easy. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I seed saved cilantro. So easy. You probably have seen it. It's probably bolting right now. You just wait and seeds will form. So, and then the violas. So easy. And they're probably reseeded all over the ground too. Thank you for watching. I hope this really gives you some encouragement on seed saving. And otherwise, please subscribe if you haven't already.